Surely you can handle a little pain. It's only temporary until you wake up, and then everything will be okay again. That's why the arrows are weird. Chloe's still just sound asleep. That got a bit more violent than usual, but then again, so did you. It was just a dream, you tell yourself. Everything is fine now. No royalty is looming behind you. Quillweave is evidently unimpaled, and your internal organs are where they belong. That is to say, not in a giant puddle underneath you. Everything is fine. You cry anyways. When did radioactive get put on that? You bawl anyways. You don't know why. Maybe you just didn't want to watch your friend die. Maybe you want to believe the nightmares were just another thing you had left behind. Maybe sometimes you just need to cry. Sure, you knew it was a dream, but that didn't make it feel any better. You really want to drink, but at the same time you know that would just make things worse. You cry instead, until it feels better. Chloe with her tongue hanging out. Imagine who you could have been if this monster hadn't been ruining your dreams. Then try and be that person. Honestly, you'd rather not think about what you could have been. Without the nightmares, you really would have had a different childhood. You would have grown up more wealthy and living in a castle, with a family who did care about you more. Maybe even begun learning magic after discovering your birth sign. You never would have become an alcoholic. You wouldn't have had to live off of other people. Probably wouldn't have gotten into those situations you keep finding yourself into. But just look how you ended up. Times like this, when you think about what could have been, it really feels like your whole life has just been the epilogue to a sad story. Like you've already failed and this is just the long aftermath. Like no matter how hard you try to rise up, where there will always be something anchoring you to your past. But you guess that doesn't matter anymore. You're Katia Monaghan now, some dumb Khajiit that's been messing up her life beyond repair for the last 19 years, but you've only been around for 3 days, who knows what will happen. Is that her age, 19? I thought somewhere I saw it was like 23. Sure, you might have some problems among other things. You have horrifying, emotionally distressing nightmares every time you sleep, but you'll find some solution. Hell, even if you have to live with the nightmares for the rest of your life, you still have it better off than that Khajiit from Hammerfell. You're a wizard, you have friends, and you had a formal dinner with a scary countess. And today you're going to meet up with the Imperial Legion and travel to Kivatch. Things are looking up for you, and when you think about all that you accomplished yesterday alone, things start to look brighter. You start to feel that maybe this is the prequel to something. Things are looking up. The nightmare woke you up a bit early, but that's probably for the best. You have a lot of stuff together before leaving. The leather map, machete, pencil, lockpick. In fact, now that you think about it, you need some way to mentally keep track of your supplies. Inventory system. Enjoy some Argonian cuddles before your 4:30 get-up time. Everyone has been shipping them since like day one. Excuse me, but you and Quillweave are just friends. Anyways, you're not bisexual. Frankly, even if you were attracted to women, you would much rather have a friend than another lover. You know, a relationship that actually means something. That said, you do your best to carefully slip out of bed without disturbing her too much. Slide out of bed, doing your best not to wake Quillweave. Your best is actually kinda clumsy and terrible. Luckily Quillweave is a sound sleeper. She stirs a little bit but doesn't even wake up. She looks comfortable enough. Guess you'll just leave her there? Daddy, I hate to bring up what's obviously traumatic, but has the Dream King ever transformed like that before? 'Cause I don't know what that was, but I know it wasn't a king or an emperor. Neither kings nor emperors do that. Maybe you should find someone to help you do some research on this once you've dealt with delivering this letter to Kivatch, of course. Transform before your eyes, yeah. Sometimes worse than tonight. This is the first time it's ever outright attacked you, though. But like you said, this was also the first time you've ever attacked it. You guess you need a reminder that sometimes things aren't worth fighting. But you're right, nobody has the dream problems like this. They just can't be normal. When you get a chance, maybe you'll ask around and see if anyone knows what's wrong. When Katia turned her dark vision on in her dream, she apparently turned it on in real life also. Does that mean that she hit something with the Eye of Fear too? Yeah, looks like you accidentally hit an unfortunate spider with it. It's currently flipping out, terrified of everything around it. But hey, at least you pulled off the scary Khajiit eye thing again. You're getting better at that, though it can't be good for the eyes. Caddy examined fetch modus. Oh no. The inventory modus. Your inventory bar? Well, it's horizontal. It's a list that's just everything you're holding. You're imagining it with a parchment texture, square compartments, and a little brassy slide thing on the end. The sliding thing doesn't serve any real purpose, but it looks cool. Also, as a kid, you used to play with slide rules when you were bored. The physical resemblance to one makes the inventory bar easier to imagine. Oh, were you asking how it stores items? Well, basically you just pick them up and imagine it on the list. Your inventory bar doesn't actually do anything among that. It would just be silly if it did. You test it out by nabbing that long leather strap. No adventurer should ever be caught without rope, and this is the closest thing you have. Chloe shouldn't mind you taking it. You're pretty sure this gear doesn't even belong to her. I mean, she seems pretty reserved, and the only marks on that were yours and the skeletons, apparently. You have so many questions about what happened that night. Grab everything. Classic klepto. That's a lot of stuff you really don't want to carry. Maybe if you can think of a really good reason, then you'll take it along. But you're already going to have your hands pretty full. Not to mention that you don't have anything to carry all that stuff in. Katia, take it anyway. Stop being a hoarder. Katia, seriously, take the ball. Well, if the guard actually apprehends someone rather than kill them, the gag might prevent shenanigans from happening due to the hypothetical criminal talking. Aside from that, anything else you need aside from the reason you are going to kivatch in the first place? That is an awfully thin justification, but fine. You reluctantly acquire the gag. Katia, I know you have a weapon ready, but try to take the sword out of the wall again, like good King Arthur. No dice, it's stuck there pretty good, and your flimsy noodle arms are unable to dislodge it. Make sure Quillweave isn't suffocating over there. How does Argonian breathing even work? Don't worry, she's fine. It's just a deep sleep. Argonians don't even have like internal organs. That's like an actual thing and part of why they can breathe in water. They're just like 90% magic. And to answer your question, you're pretty sure Argonian breathing works about like Khajiit breathing does, except with gills somewhere in there too. Chloe's chest is rising and falling, so you assume she's doing okay. Anyways, you're not bisexual. Are you sure about that? Maybe this is a weird. Maybe this weird Khajiit Hammerfowl wasn't, but your Katia might. No. Gosh, why is everyone trying to ship her so badly? And for the love of Akatosh, put Quillweave back in the bed. She's gonna be extremely sore in the morning if you leave her like that. Put Quillweave back in bed. It doesn't have to be very good, but it'd be much better than leaving her half on the bed. That can't be good for her back. Jakajit, you tuck the Boshijo in before you leave. It must be cold in there without that window. I'm agreeing with the kobold on this one. Wait, the kobold? On this one? Quickly, tuck Quillweave back in bed because she cannot be comfy laying like that. Get Quill back in the bed before you head down and pack. She looks uncomfortable. Who's a kobold? I feel like some of these people are more known than others and they might be referring to one of them. Okay, yeah, on second thought, that's a very good idea, you guess. You hoist her back into the bed and cover her up. I mean, the window is open. She might have gotten a cold. That has nothing to do with TA's commands moments prior. What? TA. Yeah, it doesn't have anything to do with that. And Argonians are like resistant to diseases. Check what time it is before engaging in any shenanigans. It may or may not be time to run like mad. You don't really have any way to check the exact time, but according to your alarm clock, the ton of water you drank before going to bed, it's not time to run like mad. You have some time to kill before setting off. Katia, turn hood part of your robe into a temporary bundle or pack to carry things, since it's detachable. Good idea. You successfully fashion a makeshift backpack out of your hood and the leather strap. Aw, that's cute. Multi-purpose. It took a few tries, but this pretty much is the coolest thing you've ever created. Ever. You even wrapped the shoulder pieces around it vertically so it has a little clasp on it. You can't wait to fill it up with stuff. That is cute. That is really neat, actually. So you don't wait, you fill it up with stuff. That is actually all stuff you need. You double and triple check that Quillweave's letter is in there, since it would suck to leave without the letter. Speaking of Quillweave, you guess you should write her a short note before leaving? Katia, write Quillweave a thank you letter before you go. Oh, and Bro's got a good idea. Write a thank you note is perfectly a lovely thing to do. Bropocalypse. So that's what he's talking about. You may also want to leave a note saying you left early or that you thank her for all she's done. Take your pick, Katia. Just let her know where you're going and that you're thankful for what she's done. Leave a snazzy dress design for Quill on a piece of parchment or paper of your own design as payment or a sign of friendship. You're not very good at letter writing. You quickly compose a rough draft in light pencil so you can read over it and make changes. Dear Quillweave, dress in the platonic sense. Dear in the platonic sense. Thank you for letting me spend the night here. It was really kind of you and was probably much better than sleeping in a pew at the chapel. I'm sorry if I made last night awkward, but if it makes you feel better, I'm not... So any subtext was probably unintentional. And I did mention I used to have that really bad nightmare about kings. I had one last night, but you were in it. I thought the king was going to hurt you, so I tried to stop him, but then he turned into a big monster and tried to kill me. I know dreams don't actually mean anything, but I just wanted to tell someone about it. I'm worried there might be some reason I'm having this dream so much, so, well, I'm in Kivatch. I'm going to look for someone who knows stuff about dreams. By the way, I'm going to Vach in a little bit to deliver your letter if that wasn't implicit. I don't know how long finding a dream expert will take, so I'll try to be back within, say, 4 days if that's okay. It'll probably be less. I just don't want you getting worried if I don't show up for a little while. Not that you would get worried or anything. I don't know if our friendship has reached the point where worrying about people is a thing that happens, or if it's just something that characterizes friendship in general. I'm not very experienced in having people worry about me, but yeah, thanks again for all the help you've given me. I really appreciate it. I wish I had some way to repay you. Oh, I did notice that you wrote yourself a note to buy more clothes, but everything you wear is really bland and brown, so I thought maybe you'd like some suggestions on what to wear. I mean, I know guys are supposed to have really good fashion sense, so I'm assuming like the opposite applies for women. Oh, sorry if that sounds horribly offensive. I don't know things. I drew a picture of an outfit I think you would look good in. Maybe you could try to find something like it? Or if you don't want to, that's okay. I understand. It seems really weird telling someone, hey, you should go spend money on this. Sorry if it is weird. Anyways, see you soon. Katia Monaghan. You're not entirely sure what to draw on it? You want to come up with some classy attire suggestions that will really impress Quillweave. Katia, revised letter. Quillweave didn't actually say she was gay, and maybe the other woman kissed her without permission? And if she is, she most certainly is very sensitive about it, so you should probably move any direct references to that. Oh, yeah, you're right. That would make this letter more awkward. Just pretend the last version didn't happen. You should also tell Quillweave that you're going to Kivatch to also see if you can find a job because you still need to pay her back for a replacement book. The money Gurug stole as well as that invisibility potion she gave you. 4 different thingies based off of Nightingale's awesome drawing in 4 different color schemes. Any color set would work on any design. Also of note, a slightly different lace style for the boots. Hmm, what colors would I like? Green kinda, you don't want them looking the same. I'd go one of these two. Probably leaning towards this because, like Katia said, Quillweave just kinda usually wears brownish colors. Laces in low neckline. No laces in low neckline. Laces in high neckline. No laces in high neckline. Oh, that's the neckline. Oh, and laces. Okay. I don't know wording for stuff like that. Quillweave deserves something both stylish and practical. Yeah. When you finish drawing your clothes, draw a rad lizard gal wearing them, doing thumbs up and going woo. The implicit thought would be that Quillweave could be that rad, if only she wore clothes like that. Katia, maybe you should... maybe you shouldn't explicitly state that you think Quillweave's clothes are boring. Dully noted, you fix your letter accordingly and put the finishing touches on your drawing. Dear Quillweave, thank you for letting me spend the night here. It was really kind of you. I appreciate it. I'm sorry if I made things awkward, but a bit of a tangent, and I did mention I used to have these really bad nightmares about kings. I had one last night, but you were in it. I thought the king was going to hurt you, so I tried to stop him, but then he turned into a big monster and tried to kill me. I know dreams don't actually mean anything, but I just kind of wanted to tell someone about it. I'm worried there might be some reason I'm having this dream so much, so while I'm in Kivatch, I'm going to look for someone who knows about dreams. Since I'll be looking for a dream expert and also some work while I'm in Kivatch, I'm not sure how long I'll be gone. I'll try to be back within 4 days if that's okay. Probably less. I just don't want you getting worried if I don't show up for a little while. Not that you would get worried or anything. I don't know if our friendship has reached that point where worrying about people is a thing that happens, or if that's just something that characterizes friendship in general, but yeah, thanks again for all the help you've given me. I really appreciate it and wish I had some way to repay you. Oh, I did notice that you wrote yourself a note to buy more clothes, and I remembered you liked the clothes I drew a few days ago, so I took the liberty of drawing an outfit design I think would look lovely on you. If you don't like it, that's okay too. I understand. Probably seems weird. Sorry if it's like that. See you soon. Katia Monaghan. Hmm. Ignore the gigantic mech. You couldn't find any colored pencils, so you just label the colors you have in mind. Hopefully Quilly won't find it too annoying. Orange, peach, crimson? Ooh, that's a lot of colors. And also crimson with a yellow trim. The top is gonna be like... Ooh, that's too many colors for one palette. Um, wait. How exactly is fashion design not a trade skill? Katia, you've been holding out on us. Honestly, it's not something you've ever even tried before. You never really drew much prior to your arrival in Cyrodiil, and this is the first time you ever tried to design a fancy outfit. Maybe you have a talent for it? That would be kinda neat. But you're not sure if there's much of a demand for people who just draw clothes. Grab your cake, you're gonna need some food for the road. Yeah... Nightmare flashbacks. You don't really feel like cake anymore. You're kind of a little uneasy getting near it. Quickly, cast a flying spell and jump out the window, Katia. Fly like the free bird you are. You don't know any flying spells, and you don't want to waste any more time goofing around. You have to get going. But, on the other hand, the skeleton did clear away the broken glass, and jumping out the second-story window sounds really cool. Turns out it wasn't as cool as you thought it would be. In fact, it just hurt a lot. If anyone asks, the walking stick is your wizard staff. The soldier is waiting outside the castle. At least he didn't leave without you. Katia, acknowledge your acrobatic issues and make a mental note that after your trip to Kivatch, Killweave should teach you some. It's not an issue, it's just something you're not good at. Nothing says your kind has to be good at jumping, or more specifically landing. It doesn't really matter anyway. I mean, it's not like you're going to be jumping from great heights on a regular basis or anything. That would be silly. Jacques Agit, say good morrow to that Stimfim right this second. Okay, okay, no need to get all Khajiit about it. You're actually looking forward to seeing him again. You limp over to the soldier and excitedly greet him. You hope you're not late. You explain that you tried to get over here as quickly as possible, but you hurt your leg and that slowed you down a little. And also you had to make a detour by an outhouse, but you couldn't find the outhouse, so you just ended up using someone's flower box, which you understand is technically okay, and I don't believe I caught your name, Mr. Imperial Legionnaire? The soldier says he is merely a soldier of the Imperial Legion, a single piece of the noble fighting force that upholds righteousness and defends the glorious Empire for the good and safety of citizens such as yourself. And don't worry about being late, he says. You're actually a bit early. Mention to Imperial Soldier. Mention to Asitil. The Imperial Legion. A soldier in the Imperial Legion. Acetyl. That you could really use a potion of undoing minor injury or something. Does he have one of those he could lend, slash sell, slash trade? If not, you could stop at a potion stop and buy and let them lend, sell, trade it to you. You say cool. In that case, you wouldn't happen to know where I could get a tiny healing potion or something like that, would you? Like, just a sip? I jumped out a window on my way here, accidentally. Acetyl, as you have started calling him in your head, raises an eyebrow. Potions? Surely, a novice mage such as yourself knows a healing spell for an occasion such as this. You confess that you don't actually know spells yet? You apparently have some kind of aptitude for magic, but you haven't found someone to teach you how to focus it. Until you can afford some training, you're really pretty bad of an excuse for a wizard. Asotil puts a heavily armored hand on your shoulder. Citizen, do you know how I became strong enough to survive in the Imperial Legion? One of the most selective and skilled combat forces in all of Cyrodiil. How? But also practice. And after I joined the Legion, mostly practice. I didn't get where I was today by waiting around for some so-called expert to tell me the secrets. No, I learned my lessons one decapitated minotaur at a time. And that's how you will learn. By killing. Aristil walks past you and approaches a rock. We've got some time, citizen. What's your magic thing? You must be able to do something, or you wouldn't be wearing a robe and carrying a staff. You reply that you set stuff on fire with your mind. You're not very good at controlling it, though. Actually, setting stuff on fire with your mind is very impressive for magic. Most magic has to originate from the caster. So like if you want to set something on fire, you usually need to shoot fire out of usually your hand. So being able to just cause things to spontaneously combust is almost unheard of, especially without having any prompting to it. These are your enemies. These fruit have wronged you, murdered your family, and committed atrocities against innocent civilians. Like all criminals, they are now target practice. This is a deadly poisoned apple, taken from the corpse of a Dark Brotherhood assassin himself. The poisoned apple is their boss. He is also target practice, but worth more. At least I'm pretty sure that's the poisoned one. That's not very smart. Yup, must be. He's got like an intelligence of 10. In Oblivion, your abilities go from 0 to 100, so 10 is very low. Alright, wizard. Let's see you learn something. Go stand 100 feet away and light these up. You're not really sure if you can do the fire thing long range, you say? He says to try anyway. The two of you have exactly 16 minutes to kill before setting off for kivatch, which is plenty of time for killing criminals. Even fictional criminals are just apples. Take off your amulet, Katia. Well then, you want some practice? Let's see what you can do. Katia, practice. I'm actually gonna leave it off there. I scratched up my throat a few days ago, and I had to take like 2 lozenges to read through all of this without like dying. I'm surprised I got to do voices towards the end without like having to stop. So I'm gonna leave it here and say thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Sorry I didn't get this all zoomed in the beginning. Well, either ways, thank you for watching, and see ya!